right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahach, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakathum. And this is going to be a little bit of a lesson on health. I'm going to title this, The Average American Can Only Do One Pull-Up, okay? And this is based off of a video I saw. He's a YouTuber. I think he's got millions of subscribers, but he basically sets up a little pull-up bar, all right, out in random spots, maybe like a mall or a shopping center. And people walking by, he just offers them like $1 or like $5 if they can do one pull-up. Or I think he'll give them like $10 if they can do 10 or something like that. And he says it openly in the video. He says the average American can't do one pull-up, man. So that should show you the place that the Lord has these people, okay? Pride is way up here at an all-time high, yet their physical capabilities is at an all-time low. Morbid obesity everywhere. People got diabetes, high blood pressure. Half of these people are autistic now, So as men that are not of this world, man, it's important to get your fitness together, get your health together, whatever that may look like, okay? If you can't do one pull-up right now, you may have an injury, that may prevent you from doing it, but, invest in your body, man, take care of your gut health, take care of the things that you eat, bear all of these things in mind. Although we know the Lord is going to deliver us, we can't just rely on the Lord we can rely on the Lord, but we shouldn't put all the weight on the Lord to just deliver us out of our circumstance without us putting forth effort as well, man. Okay? You think about the woman that you're dealing with, and she's in the bedroom, she's like really into it. Like, she's not fighting you, but at the same time, she's not putting the effort in with it. The best thing that men love is a woman that's enthusiastic, and so the Lord gave us the bodies to do the work, so we got to put some effort into it, man, so as much as these bodies are a drag on our spirit, they're still capable of a lot of great things. We are just at a place where we're cursed, but that's not an excuse to let your health go. Start counting calories, man. Start cutting down, man. Learn a skill, an art. I myself, I'm gonna try to get the bow. I got a bow and arrow I got like last year sometime. I'm gonna hit the park and just learn a skill, something outdoors, some activities, man. Lord's will, I get in the boxing gym, later this summer. And these are things that men all men knew this back in the ancient world, man. I was watching the video of Apostle Zahar. He said Judah teaches his son the bow, and he was going into how basically all of our men, we knew how to fight, we knew how to handle ourselves, and it was based on a guy, who had some YNs knock on his door pretending to be the police, like they said they were CPD, which is California Police Department. And they obviously had on shiesty masks, so he didn't open the door. So he was saying, every man got to be able to, defend himself, man. In many places, like the last place I stayed at, which is an apartment complex, they straight up said no firearms on the premises. It's like, wait a minute, well, you don't have security guards here, and you got to think about that, man. You got to be in good case, if for no other reason than to be able-bodied for the brothers, man, for the Akia, because you don't know what or when something can pop off. And again, we know the Lord, if we're in the spirit and we're doing the work, we're doing the right thing, the Lord's going to defend us. But put your best foot forward on that, and you watch your energy levels go up, watch your ability to handle stress goes up. All right, everything goes up. You become more radiant and vibrant. It's easier to talk to women, man. When you've been doing the right thing, you've been getting at it. You've been in the gym, you've been eating right, everything's cleaner, everything runs smoother. You don't really realize how down bad we are in these bodies, man. You eat some bullshit. We got all kind of things bombarding us, man. Things in our food. You know, you got Wi-Fi and EMF signals all over the damn place. When we get out of these bodies, man, we really gonna want to break down and cry when we can see how limited we were because of how how down bad these bodies are. And, you know, so we gotta get the best out of them. You know, when I was going real hard last year in the gym, I felt it. You know, and you know, Satan gets on you. You know, you miss a day, before you know, you missed a couple weeks. You know, and then you're back off. You know, but you gotta rebuke that, man. Remember the low energy levels. I don't feel like going. I don't feel like getting to the gym. I don't feel like walking. You could just walk. You know, when you gotta realize if you can muster the energy, the spirit to do it, that's your body's gonna give you more energy. Okay, it's a cycle. It's like riding a bicycle. You know, your right side pushes the pedal down, and then the other pedal on the left goes up. And you take your left foot and you push the other pedal down, and it feeds itself like a cycle. You know, that's how you got to look at it, man. But you got to have the spirit in you to do it and value these things. You know, because these people are gonna die, man. Like, and some people are just gonna die because they're so out of shape, they're so fat, they're just not gonna be able to walk. You know, they don't need to make it 5 or 6 miles to get where some water or wherever it is, and they not even gonna make it, man. You know, that's how down bad these people are, man. And so, you know, we don't want to be in the spirit of the people of the world, man. You know, and we want to, you know, have a higher standard of living. You know, not to the point where, you know, you're getting high-minded or anything, but you want to have a better quality, you know, of life, because you got to look at it as a means to doing the work. You know, some brothers have, you know, because of the diets and things, you know, you have brain fog. You know, you might be on the line just forgetting precepts. You know, I know my memory's been pretty bad lately. You know, other ways to be healthy, man, is detox, man, off of these phones, man. You know, when you take a fast off of everything, man. You know, if you usually play video games, give it a break. If you usually are watching a bunch of, you know, videos online or on social media scrolling, give that a break. You know, give your brain a chance to heal itself, man. Go on fast. Do things like that. You know, these things are important, and I'm speaking to myself, you know, first and foremost. You know, because this is a damn shame. If our ancestors could look and see how they could look at the testosterone levels of the average man today, they'd be like, oh god damn, y'all are basically women. You know, you're all out of shape. You know, most of these men walking around with tits, all right, effeminate, soft. You know, don't know what's going on. You know, forgetting everything, short attention spans. You know, all of these things are part of the oppression here. But again, we're gonna have a higher spirit, a higher level spirit in us to be able to combat these things. And you know, the scriptures speak about taking care of yourself, man. So that's basically all I wanted to say on that matter. Lord willing, this is edifying. On to the next. Shalom.